The Bears won a game! Yay! Woohoo! Our Chicago Bears beat the pathetic New York Giants by a score of 19-15 at Soldier Field. And we really should not be celebrating this win that much at all. A win is a win, and I'm always going to be happy after a win because I love seeing winning football. I love seeing my team win. Love seeing my team making plays. But the manner in which we won, guys, again, it was not impressive in the slightest. You guys saw near the end of the game there, the Giants legitimately had a chance to win. A chance to win after how badly they played, after how bad their defense played. After all of that, the Giants still had a chance to win near the end there. It came down to a 4th down stop by our defense, which it absolutely should not have, okay? Because when you're looking at a team like this, right, a 2-8 Giants team, well, now it's 2-9, a team that's really devoid of talent in every single position. Good teams do not, they beat teams like this by a bigger margin. Last year's Chicago Bears would have beat this team by 20 or 30 points, okay? Even though we did lose to the Giants last year, this year's Giants team, in my opinion, is a lot worse even than last year. So we should have really, beaten the snot out of a team like this, but again, we are the Chicago Bears. We are also a bad football team, so obviously we're not going to win by that much. Let me talk about some positives from this game, though, okay? Because there were a lot of positives to take away. One is that Cordell Mack finally showed up. He finally made an impact on the game, and it's partly because the Giants' offensive line was really bad, and they were also trying to single, they're putting him one-on-one against their defenders, and that's a really dumb idea. Whenever you do that, Mack usually does get through. So the Giants' O-line really failed in that regard, and so Cordell Mack was able to force a fumble. He was able to get a sack, a lot of QB pressures, so it was nice seeing that pass rush finally show up. And like I said in my prediction video, Daniel Jones, he is going to fumble. He's going to turn the ball over when you put pressure in his face. So it was really nice to see the Bears defense be able to do that, but our offense, on the other hand, it was still not, I would not call it really impressive. I would say it did do a decent job in certain parts of the game. Trubisky did look pretty good, even though the Giants' defense is so bad. Trubisky, for the most part, he was making pretty decent throws. That's 50-yard or however many yards it would have been to Allen Robinson in the first half. That was a complete bullshit call. Okay, that should not have been called back. The referees absolutely failed us there. So, Trubisky had how many yards? He had 278 yards. He should have had a lot more if that play did not get called back. He did have 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions was not his fault. It was Anthony Miller's fault for running the wrong route. So, really, Trubisky was only at fault for 1 interception, which that was a really bad interception. But all in all, he did have a rushing touchdown as well. And Trubisky did look confident out there. He looked like a pretty good quarterback. He looked like the Mitch from last year. And I have to say again, guys, that this is going up against a really bad defense. So if you need a defense this bad to be playing good, then you're probably still not, a very good quarterback. But again, like I've been saying, his offensive line is not helping him out at all. His receivers are not helping him out at all. Our receivers were dropping so many passes today. Ben Broniker on that, I think would have been a 20-yard touchdown. He completely just dropped that. That would have been the easiest walk-in touchdown ever, but Ben Broniker just completely dropped it. He forgot how to use his hands. So it was stuff like that. Taylor Gabriel also had a lot of drops. Our receivers are not helping out Trubisky at all. And our offensive line, as usual, has always been bad. We had virtually no run game today. Tariq Cohen was our leading rusher. He had 6 carries for 25 yards. Montgomery could really go nowhere because there were no holes to run through. So even against a run defense this bad, our offensive line was not able to generate any sort of run game because they just plain suck. All of them, they suck. Ryan Pace is really going to have to figure out a way to clean up this offensive line for next year because I don't care which quarterback we have next year. Any of them will do bad with an offensive line playing like this. So, again, a lot of blame goes to our offensive line, but I'm not happy only scoring 19 points against a team that's giving up more than 30 points per game. It's kind of the same deal as a Lions game. Okay, we We barely beat the Lions in that game, even though the Lions had such a bad defense. We barely beat the Giants in this game. Like, what are we doing, guys? We're still not a very good football team. We're still not a very good offense. And it's a shame because with the way this defense is playing, if we just had an average offense, we would be Super Bowl contenders this year. But we're so far from being an average offense that we're that's why we're 5-6 right now. So overall, that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. I mean, our offense did leave a lot to be desired, but our defense did ball out. They were facing a pretty bad offense, but Daniel Jones did look helpless for a large portion of the game. I mean, he had 59 yards going into like the second half, so Daniel Jones was really struggling out there against our elite defense. So our defense, I mean, my hat goes off to them. They did have a few lapses of judgment in late in the game on that 4th and long. Eddie Jackson, I don't know what he was doing there. So they did make their fair share of mistakes, but overall they did play a pretty good game. And our special teams guys, I mean, I have to tip my hat to Cordell Patterson because Cordell Patterson always gives his 100% effort on every single play. You saw late in the game there on that punt, which, I mean, his play there could have really, that may have saved the game for us because to dive for that ball and prevent it from going in the end zone, to prevent the touchback, to keep it on the 2-yard line, I mean, that was a beautiful play by Cordell Patterson. And he also had a pretty good play before that too. So Cordell Patterson, you're amazing, man. And Eddie Panero, I have to talk about him. He did have another miss. It was an extra point this time, but it was a 48-yard extra point, which we were backed up that far because of the referees' incompetence and also our penalty as well. So we were backed up that far. And although that is a pretty far distance for an extra point, I mean, it's kind of starting to concern me that Eddie Panero has not been able to make, with consistency, field goals above 40 yards this year. So maybe we still don't have our kicker. So that's another negative to think about. But guys, overall, I want to say that yes, it was a win, but you probably shouldn't celebrate too much, okay? Looking ahead at our schedule, we have the Lions on Thanksgiving, which should be another dub. Okay, if we're beating these bad teams, I mean, we should be able to beat the Lions again as well because the Lions did lose to the Redskins today. So the Lions are spiraling out of control, so we should beat that team. But after that, we got the Cowboys, the Packers, and the Chiefs, and the Vikings. So talk about a tough 4-game stretch to end the season. Technically, 10-6 is still possible. Technically, the playoffs are still possible. But not if we keep on playing like this. If the Chicago Bears want to beat teams like the Chiefs or the Packers or the Cowboys, they're going to have to figure out a way to make their own offense better, okay? Because their defense, as good as they are not going to be able to hold teams like the Chiefs and Cowboys to under like 15 points, okay? That's probably not going to happen unless somehow this defense becomes a lot better, which may be a possibility if Akeem Hicks comes back, but right now, guys, who knows, okay? I really hope Akeem Hicks does come back. I think he was scheduled to maybe come back for that Packers game. So if he comes back then our defense is going to have a giant boost. But again, the main problem on this team is the offense. If we can somehow find a way to magically fix this offense, then maybe we can sneak into the playoffs. But that's probably not that likely. But I'm still going to hold on to whatever small amount of hope I have, okay? Because I am a diehard fan just like you guys. A dub is a dub. Celebrate this victory. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this game. And as always, bear down.